And good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to the final episode of Mandalorian, chapter, what is it, 24?
24
24, episode 8.
24, the return
of nothing.
of nothing, of literally fucking nothing. So, before we get into the nitty gritty, not too much nitty gritty because I'm hosting tonight, so I'm not going to do a massive play by play. It's unnecessary. Zam does it, and we just like to amuse him. Good thing he's not here because joining me, I have Cheeto and some guy called Mandalorian. He's got a massive helmet. Greetings, all.
Greetings and salutations. You two are not a Mandalorian no more.
Thanks.
Oh no.
Is it because I whipped out my helmet and revealed everything to the world? My bad. All right,
Yes, you
so
need to bathe in the waters of my urine.
Oh, not again. How dare you? Right. And also, welcome to Vance, who's already commenting. Bless you, sir. Welcome along. And Cheetah, what did you think of the episode?
I really wanted to like this episode. However, although it had a lot of flashy pew-pews and some really good moments, overall, they shit the bed. They shit the bed with even whatever remnant they had going with this season. I mean, you have the episode called The Return, and you don't, and we'll talk about him later, but like we don't even have the return of the biggest character everybody's been talking about. And this isn't like Mephisto in WandaVision. Like this isn't just fan theories running around. They have said his name in this series within the last episode. You figure they're teasing his return by the end of this season, at the very least.
Yeah.
And if I don't see Moff Gideon's body, I don't believe he's dead. And on top of that, you got clones involved now, so it's like, fuck, he's gonna come back with the clone with the force powers and shit. We'll get into that later. But I don't. There's just the action was okay for me, but that was probably because it was the dumbest part of this episode. That because the episode didn't have to think too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the smart parts of this episode just fucking sucked. And we can talk about it as we go through it. But god damn it.
Yep. Mandalorian.
Wow. I think it's important that we don't always have this expectation that the final episode means cameo. It's very good not to have a cameo all the time because then we expect to have one all the time. So if there was no Thrawn, no Boba Fett, no Luke Skywalker, no Han Solo, no anything, it's probably the best thing to happen for this episode because now the next season, if we do get a cameo, it'll be exciting again.
No, they
Overall,
tease this return. No, it's not like Luke
no.
that came out of nowhere last season. They teased this character.
Well, they
Like,
mentioned the Jedi was a bit, people were speculating, but because of the de-aging and the deep fake still being at its infancy back then, people probably didn't expect Luke, but it happened, and now people are expecting somebody all the time. Now, we did we did get a reference to Grand Admiral Thrawn, but doesn't mean we have to see him.
no,
You
but
know,
that's the point. They were foreshadowing him. That is a part of writing, and like good storytelling is foreshadowing. They were foreshadowing Grand Admiral Thrawn.
well, in my opinion, this the way this season had progressed, and by the time it ended, it almost felt like a series finale. So I'm okay with the ending and some of the aspects of this season. It wasn't too exhilarating. I thought this episode was a lot of fun, and it had some nice moments regarding the Mandalorians. But I think our expectations were too high for things that we were theorizing, and just because they never developed it the way we theorized it, we shouldn't shit on this episode for that.
Dude, that
Okay.
mask is on way too tight. I'm just saying.
Cutting
You're
circulation
telling
up
me
to his head. How
my
dare you?
nose, my
That's his
nose is
opinion.
so flat right now. You have
Well,
no idea.
Too bad you can't take that helmet off ever again. Nice going.
Right, first of all, I'm going to go with Danya Vance on this one. We had R5. That's all we needed. We had a great legacy character. Vance is the one thing I expected this episode was Grogu's first words. This is the way.
That's
And
another thing I can use.
greetings, nerd of twat. I mean, verse. So, my thoughts on this episode. So, in terms of cinematography, it is one of the best Star Wars things I've ever seen in terms of cinematography. Like, I thought the way it was shot, the action scenes, everything, it was just really beautifully done. And I was surprised because it's the same director that's done other episodes that have been absolute shite. But this one, I don't know what it was. The visuals were fucking incredible, and I was literally blown away. Now, in terms of an episode, look, I think it did what it needed to do for the final episode, and that's to be action packed and not tie it up too early. Because my fear was we're going to get lots of good action for the first 15, 20 minutes, and then the other 20 minutes, we were just going to get a bunch of tying up of loose ends and all this kind of shit. That being said, some of the action scenes were daft, and we'll get into that as we go. And the payoff at the end was, well, not the end, but the end of Moff Gideon was laughable. And
No.
yeah, and then the sudden kind of decisions made, which again I won't say now, we'll say as we go along. Later on, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again. So, that being said, we're going to get into it. So, obviously, we kickstart off with a load of action, some fantastic. I mean, this is just like the best part about doing this episode is it's very easy. The play-by-play aspect is very easy. Lots of we just kick off, go straight into the action, and with Mando being carried off to his doom or to get probed again like he likes. He kicks out of it, and we have some lovely like scuffling and combat there. And just when you think all is lost and he's about to get choked to death, we get Baby Yoda in the IG-11 suit that comes in, grabs a blaster with a quick no, and Mando's like, all right, you know what? We can't run away now. We've got Moff Gideon where we want him. Let's be brave. Let's go fuck him up.
And that's good because I was afraid he's gonna be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you can't be here, Grogu." No, he's like, "No, we're gonna go fuck some shit up. You ready?"
No, Rojo, wasn't he behind the blast doors with Bo-Katan?
He was behind the blast doors. Yes, he must have found a way around because plot.
Yeah, he just he just showed up. You know, he just somehow Grogu returns.
No, you took my line for later.
Yeah, suck it, nerd.
Son of a.
Have you seen that movie Congo?
Yeah, love Congo.
Yeah, I remember that when the little gorilla with the sign language, like going, no, bad ape. That's what I was thinking of Grogu.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison. Okay, so as we get to the Mandalorians, we cut back to Bo-Katan, and they're like trapped, but they manage to get to a nice hole, and out they spew. And then we get a wonderful scene with the TIE fighters, the TIE interceptors, dropping in and taking off, and just heading up to the skies. Even though that should have happened a lot quicker than what it did.
Yeah.
Here, like they should have already been.
Yeah, and he said it like in the middle of last episode, like launch the fighter. Or that was towards the end, but still, like you had a whole fight sequence between the Favalorian and those three guards.
Yeah, and in that scene, none of the TIE fighters took off. They're just waiting for this episode.
Yeah, right.
So you're telling me that these Mandalorians, they can't chase a prehistoric bird with their jetpacks, but they can go all the way into space. No problemo.
No problem.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my things. Is like, okay, so they're Like their outfits are not completely made of Beskar. It's not like a airtight sealed
It's
outfit.
clothes. Just regular. It's like mechanics outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But it all seems very fireproof as well because the flamethrowers didn't fucking
Yeah,
do anything.
flamethrowers didn't do shit to him the whole episode. I was
Not a
wondering
damn
The
about
moment
that.
they went into space, they should have turned into an icicle. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think they were in the upper, but granted, it still would
The
be
upper atmosphere.
upper or lower atmosphere. But I mean, still, it should have been cold enough that they probably wouldn't have been able, and the air would have been thin enough. Although when they put their helmets on, they do seal. So I don't.
Yeah, the helmet's all, but it's still not going to protect your body.
I guess.
You're still entering like the outer atmosphere, and you still need a pressurized suit, otherwise you're fucked. But obviously, we're dilly dallying with like Earth tech, whereas theirs is a bit more, plot convenient technology. That's what they have.
I wish
They
we
have
had
really
plot
good
convenient
plot
technology in real life.
Yeah, I wish so too. This episode continued with more nods to Alien and Alien Resurrections. Really? I didn't see it.
I think the cloning, like the Sigourney Weaver scenes.
Oh right,
and
yes,
stuff like, yeah.
yes. But with that, I would have expected more, weird-looking clones and all that. But yeah, I mean, with the cloning thing, you could really, you could tie it to anything that has cloning. To be perfectly honest, but anyway, so we get to the bit where obviously R5 comes down, and this bit really cracked me up because he's got jetpacks and he looks down and he gets scared. It's like, you've got fucking jetpacks, mate. What are you scared of the heights for?
Because
You
they
can
make
fly-
R5 into a coward no matter what. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a droid that's scared. Like, what?
Where the
Yeah.
fuck
Oh,
did
the map
R5
with the little
come
red
from?
dot. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that
he
makes
never came, like Din never came in his ship. Where the fuck R5 just appeared out of nowhere? You never saw him go with them. He wasn't in episode 7.
That's a good point. I don't even remember R5.
Yeah,
being in anything.
it's a good point. But
That's a good point.
Good point. Mandalorian has a good point. Everybody write it down.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely good point. So we cut to
So anyway,
now Din and Mando and Grogu are just doing a little sneaky and getting R5 to kind of scan things and find the kind of control room. And we get a little homage to we got a little homage to episode 1 with those weird red shields, but we do a little segment on fights. But before that kind of happens, Axe Wolves
Episode 3 as well.
What's that?
A little homage to episode 3 as well, I think.
Where?
With R5 and the droids, but instead of like beating up.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to that bit.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that scene.
No. So Axe Wolves has flown back, made it to the starship, and at this point in time, we haven't seen this fucking cough will not go away. We haven't seen the armorer do anything, and we think we're going to get something with Axe Wolves. Well, we get none of that, and I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. Who the fuck was the other spy then? Because they subverted every expectation here, and there was no payoff. Damn.
I think, first of all, the spies is a misunderstanding by the people who were theorizing, assuming that it's going to be Eliakane and other people. Eliakane is part of the Shadow Council. The Shadow Council, in my opinion, are the spies. Which is why episode 7 was the spies. They are basically people infiltrating the New Republic.
They didn't explain it very well.
No, but people ended up theorizing, assuming the armorer and Axel,
which I didn't believe that one.
And Sasha Banks and the fucking hobo fucking Mandalorians.
I don't think he can hear you with his helmet on.
I can hear him.
No, I said I don't think he can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me, Zam?
I got headphones in my ears.
Yeah, he's got his headphones in. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So. But yeah. So again, this is another bit that pissed me off. So I'll stick with the Axe Wolves bit, and then we'll move on to the Mandalorian stuff. So with Axe Wolves and that big fucking cruiser, we get the TIE interceptors that chop it down like a bitch. And yet before that, we've had them survive smaller ships, survive barrages of TIE attacks for ages with little to no damage. And this big fucking starship gets taken down like it's nothing. So
I had a
although this, yeah,
I
go
had
on.
a thought on that is only because that cruiser is from not the old Republic, from the old Republic, but not the old Republic era. You know what I mean? Like before the
Yeah.
fall of the Republic. So I'm maybe thinking that the TIE fighters and TIE interceptors and TIE bombers are more advanced. Plus, TIE bombers can really mess your shit up. Like if they're good enough.
Yeah, but the majority of the damage was being dealt by the interceptors.
Probably, yeah. As I said, that was my head canon when I was watching because I noticed that too. I'm like, wow, these TIE interceptors are doing really good.
It's not a Star
Yeah.
Destroyer. It's a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's just a light
Yeah.
cruiser.
Yeah, it's a cruiser.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of is that he just deliberately, shuts down the shields to get it shot down, but then you could just
Kamikaze.
literally just do it yourself without getting shot down. So it was just one of those things that kind of irked me. Let's see. Axe flying out the window with his rocket was confusing to me. You think that weak, they'd be the
That would
first
probably
target.
that weakness, they'd be the first target. So basically saying they'd shoot the windows. Hey, they did it in Return of the Jedi with an A-wing, man. They flew right into the bridge.
Yeah, the A-wing, man, it brought down everything. That pilot was
The
a hero.
Super Star Destroyer. Yeah, that's the hero that should have gotten the medallion.
Not the medallion. There should be a goddamn statue of that pilot inside Coruscant. That's the fucking statue that we should have. It was that fucking pilot that did it all.
Yeah.
The
he
wonderful
took down the Super
subtleties
Star
of
Destroyer.
Return of the Jedi. Oh god, I love that film so much.
See, me too. That's honestly my favorite of the original trilogies, Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry, like
it's
Empire
not
is
mine,
good.
but I love it. Like I don't hate any of the original trilogies, not one bit. People can have a bug up their
Likewise.
arse about Return of the Jedi. I don't give a fuck what they think.
I think it's
Okay,
just the Ewoks that annoy him, and then
the
George
Ewoks
Lucas is
annoyed
like,
them, but we love the Ewoks over
yeah,
here.
George
We're
Lucas
hilarious.
is like, what? Oh, that's annoying. Hold my beer. Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, Misa bad
I think
stereotype.
it's not the Ewoks. It's not the Ewoks necessarily, but the Ewoks taking down the Empire annoy people.
Eh,
Who cares? It's the 80s, man. We could do what we like, kind of thing.
those troopers were dying. We all know it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all fucked.
They're on that
with
good Ewok
Mandalorian
shit.
Yeah. Okay. So now hang on. I'll just let me get to my bits here.
Oh yes,
So-
nice call, Daniel Vance.
We have the ships. So all the Mandalorian ships, I forgot as well. They all kind of plow down into Earth, and the TIE fighters go right past them, and we don't get like an epic space battle.
That's another thing that I'm like it's like ships passing in the night, but I'm like, do scanners not work? Like oh, there's clouds. Our scanners must not work.
Don't underestimate
Well,
those
technically
clouds.
they don't because they had the electromagnetic field,
Blah,
Uh,
blah, yeah.
on that planet.
Putting
So
logical solutions in my
Yes.
illogical rants.
that's the logic behind it. But still, I mean, you could have gone all out and had your Moff Gideon versus Mandalorian, your jetpack fight, and your spaceship fight.
You could have had the trio just like in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, you could have had your trio, but they pushed out on it. So the ships go down. You get in. We get a fantastic jetpack fight, which was beautifully shot, great action. So, and then we also at the same time we have Mandalorian now breaking in, going towards the control room, and as he's doing that, he's fighting his way through. I did enjoy the scene, even though some of the bits were a bit clumsy. I did enjoy that scene, like taking it in stages to fuck up people. And we got possibly one of the most brutal and most violent Star Wars scenes that we've ever had, and I still can't fucking believe Disney let this one go through. That's the brutal attack on R5 by the mouse droids. It was, my God.
Who
I
knew they
barely
had
made it.
sirens on the top? Have we ever seen that
that-
before?
No, that was a nice touch.
Not in Star Wars, but I think in the games we had them. I think I think Jedi Outcast had them, and I absolutely loved that scene.
Yeah, like all
I
of a sudden,
was
like these little red lights came on the top. I'm like,
yeah, the
holy
little red
shit, they have
lights.
lights.
Yeah. Yeah, little red lights. It's like, oh god, here we go. It's all chaos, but no, everyone's off fighting, so there is no one else to bring in except for other mouse droids, and they viciously assault R5 to within an inch of its life, and I was on the edge of my seat. Now, quite frankly, that was actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole of the Mandalorian season 3. Anyway, so we get to the clone room. We got the clones, the Moff
Wasn't you
Gideon clones.
going through those red things?
Yeah, I said that.
No, did you? Okay, I
Yeah.
must have missed
Oh,
that.
okay. Do you want to talk about it? You could talk
No,
about it.
it just reminded me of a computer game. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
like different stages and all
different
this.
levels and stuff like that.
Look,
And
Yeah.
there were so
this
many
is the
like
bit.
action time events in that whole scene. I was trying to hit my controller to make sure I got
Yeah.
I like the way
QTEs.
like Mando always tried to get like a gun, but he wasn't able to get one. You know, from the people he took care of,
yeah,
and
the
on
one
top
he
of
like
that, this is what
roundhouse. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, this is why it reminded me of episode 3 with the elevator scene with R2D2 and Obi-Wan and Anakin. You know, like it's a similar vibe. You know, like they're trying to
Oh,
get
right, I get
R2
you.
to get the lift going, whilst in
Yeah.
this case he's trying to get R5 to get the shields down and stuff like that.
I mean,
And
it
then you gave
reminded
him
me of episode 4.
nice one, buddy. And then like you could see R5 had some character development after that. Then after the ship he flies off, one of the mouse droids actually falls off the cliff, so he kills one along the way.
Yep.
Nice one, R5.
Yeah, that was just the
Yeah.
best bit. It's just like it's getting brutally attacked. Just like, oh fuck this, got my rockets, off I go, and that was a great end. So we enter the clone room, which we all saw coming, but none of us expected it to be Moff Gideon clones. So that was sweet, but the inevitable did happen. They blew up all of the clones,
But
and
now they were left to what? Now he left it wide open for him to come back with force powers. By the way,
yes,
I mean
yes.
I know that Moff made it seem like all of them were dead, but you never know. Like,
no, you never know, and we'll get to that because we cut then to that little underground garden of the Mandalorians and have a quick chat about it. And I am enthralled by it all. And then reinforcements arrive. And at this point, again, I'm thinking, is the armor going to do anything? But no. Then they all deploy and we get the actual jetpack fight. And then we get to Moff Gideon and the stereotypical monologuing that he does throughout the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it was such
And
a
it's
monologue.
so annoying and it's so hammed up. It's really frustrating.
you caught me monologuing.
Yeah, you dog. How did Mando survive being stabbed in the back of the neck? Well, you know.
It would have been better if Mando started the conversation going, "Why do you need these clones?" and then he would have got a response. But with Moff Gideon straight up monologuing, it seemed very ham-fisted.
He looked
Yeah.
genuinely pissed off though that Mando killed all those clones. It's almost like he did
He
like
was.
take out his relatives.
Yeah, but
Well, in my
like,
opinion,
it's clones of you, and you're still not the Moff Gideon with the Force powers unless you transfer your consciousness to one of these clones.
I think what he wanted to do is that he wanted to be, no pun intended to Michelle Yeoh, everywhere all at once, or everything everywhere all at once. He just wanted to be in all locations. But if he was a clone and he had his versions of himself all spread across the galaxy, he would be the ruler because people would always see his face.
Yeah.
And I think
and what better ruler to have than yourself everywhere?
Yeah.
And that. But then we have. Sorry, go ahead.
But the problem is that Moff Gideon has to know his own weakness. Is that those force sensitive Moff Gideons won't just be subservient unless he has some kind of failsafe in there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, that's exactly. Unless he's got a failsafe in there, like the clone troopers, and then who's to know? But then with the force powers, who's to know that they can't fix that
either
issue?
Way out of it.
Yeah. So yes, we did get the monologue, the disappointment of, and he was really pissed off that his clones were destroyed. But like you said, it's always like a red herring because somewhere elsewhere there are clones out there, and even though this Moff Gideon bit the bullet, I'm sure he's going to return in clone form, or he survived given the strength of that armor.
Like that Godzilla dino egg at the end of Godzilla, the one that survived
Exactly.
in Madison
Yeah,
Square Gardens after they fucking napalmed it.
exactly. It's like that. So there's a definite red herring, which leaves it open for Moff Gideon to return in either this show or Ahsoka.
I
So
personally hope he's dead. Honestly, I really
me
hope this
too.
is the end of him. I
Can't
mean,
stand Moff Gideon.
They Captain Phasma'd him, but
Yeah,
Yeah, and they
he needs to be dead so we can move on to a new villain.
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I
Now I
mean
did like the fight. So I did like the fight between him and and Din Djarin. I thought that was really good. Like, just that armor, and it's a bit like an Iron Man suit. So it really kicked his ass. And
yeah,
then we had
I was gonna say there was mechanical things in play where Mandalorians don't have mechanical strength like
that's right.
in play. So
Yeah,
I
so
heard it like, and they made it very prominent. They're like, yes, Moff is using a suit, not just armored plating. Like
yeah, exactly. And I thought that was good. That was a nice kind of integration of technologies that you don't see often. So I thought that was really good. And then you get the Gamorrean guards coming. Are they the Gamorrean guards?
No,
The
they're the pig
same?
guards, Gamorreans. The
Huh?
pig guards are the
Oh
piggies are
yeah,
the
the pig
Gamorreans.
guards are the Gamorreans. I forget what these ones are called. But
Praetorians.
thank you, thank you. I knew it was something like that.
What
So
the
they
fuck?
come out, and you think, oh no, Mando's gonna get it. But of course, Grogu at some point is gonna pop up and save the day.
no,
Uh,
no, 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 no.
yeah, no, saves the day, and then he runs off getting chased by those guards. So we get a 1-to-1 with Moff Gideon and Mando, and again, when Mando is down on his knees,
he
Bo-Katan comes in, and we get. I should have drank my whiskey at this point. The most standard line that you get from every female. I got this. And I was just like, yay!
No, here's the stupidest thing about this part, though. Like, you're coming in, she literally, just a moment before had the dark saber out. Why did she not chop his fucking head off
Yeah,
on her
no,
way
she
just
no,
down?
she
fly
no,
in and chop
no,
his
she
head
no,
off.
she did actually go for his head. You actually see a laceration on his Beskar armor.
Yeah, that's afterwards. That's not
That's
when she comes
No, but
afterward.
in.
I'm
That's
no,
talking
but I'm
about
just
when she
saying.
was coming in, his back was turned, and she could have and she was coming in with, and the
I don't
saber
think
was
it would have
out in the
gone through.
scene before.
I don't think it would have gone through. I don't because like the way his armor is situated, there's hardly any gaps in it.
You gotta try.
But you gotta try it. Instead, she just jumps in the way and is like, I got this. Which is it's just that's the line that every single female in a Disney film has to say, otherwise Bob Iger's dick falls off, and I love it. I absolutely. It's at this point where I'm actually more disappointed if I don't hear "I got this."
Well,
So I
I'm actually very happy that she came through because this beef she's had with Moff Gideon is bigger than Jaren. I mean,
Yeah, no, no, I'm
she
not. Listen, I'm not.
yeah
I loved the bit. I loved it. But what I'm saying is, I just personally cheered when I heard "I got this." It's like a personal kind of joke, running joke I have
yeah.
with Disney and the
Yeah, I had
women.
no problem with Bo-Katan coming in.
But
I'm just saying she
that
should
was
have at
great.
least tried to chop his head off.
But what they did, they got it right as well because they didn't just do the usual like fucking. Oh, I got this, and he whoops his ass. It's like no, she got her ass handed to her too. It was a really good fucking fight. Like you understand
Yeah.
just the power of this suit.
Okay, yeah, but Din wants no. Because my problem with Din is that he gets that fucking backpack off one of the stormtrooper guards, and he never uses it. You know, if you but if you noticed in that episode, the
Yeah,
jetpack he never used it once.
yeah.
You would have
Which
thought he would
is
have
where he
used
should
it.
have used it to kind of
Yeah, to
like
maybe get
throw
away or
Gideon
like yeah,
around and that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And the fact that he's so worried about Grogu, it made sense that he doesn't want to fight Moff Gideon. He wants to save Grogu. And so I like the fact that Bo-Katan gave him that option to do that. Gave him the opportunity to do that as
yep.
well.
Yeah, because Grogu's like obviously he's with the guards and they're they've just chopped up that fucking robot suit and made Hasbro cry. And
It was
but
on there long enough. There's going to be toys.
oh, there's going to be toys of it.
I thought, yeah, but Grogu like somersaulting and running around on top of that light bulb, hilarious.
Oh, hilarious!
Absolutely,
I absolutely loved it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Yeah, that's it. And then, but then what's good is obviously when Mando comes in and he starts fighting those guards, is he gets a lot of help from Grogu. He starts using his force powers finally, and kind of just
Yeah, he
derailing.
really uses them. Yeah,
Yeah, he uses it really well. And again, another good kind of fight scene. And
You know what? But I would have forgiven everything from this episode if the last guard was going to actually kill Din Djarin and Grogu smashed his helmet. Just
crushed him. Yeah, I would have liked that.
like you
That
don't
would
have
have
to
been
show blood.
awesome.
They're already in red armor. You don't have to show brains flowing out or whatever. But if Grogu would have just they had that moment where the last guard was like going to kill Din Djarin and Grogu just crushed his head with the Force. I would have been like,
that would have been fantastic, but
I would have been like,
I don't
I
think
forgive
Disney
this
would have liked
episode for everything that I'm about to complain about it.
that. Yeah, I don't think Disney would have liked that,
I mean, this
unfortunately.
scene was very Last Jedi like with the Praetorian guards in that against Ray
Yes,
and
it did,
Kylo.
but it was nice seeing them kind of, be quite menacing and all of that. But the fact that they had to just keep popping in from
And
the
I'm sorry,
side.
every time they went after Grogu, it's like I get the bit was kind of fun, but I still was just like every time they went to go up against Grogu, I'm like, what? Why? Like, just ninja kick the damn rabbit, like God.
Personally, I wish we would have got some of the scenes that were remnants to episode 1 of season 1 with IG-11, the way he's twisting around and shooting shit. I
Yeah,
wish
that's what I
Grogu had a
wanted.
couple of. I wish Grogu had a couple of pistols and was doing some of that. But if honestly, you watch that first episode again with IG-11 and Mando infiltrating that base, it is such an awesome scene. It
Yeah,
really
the
is just
action
him
is
walking around and his
fantastic.
body just
Yeah,
twisting around and shooting shit. Awesome. I want to see more of that. I really do.
yeah,
It would have
yeah.
made Grogu more useful instead of no, 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 and then like randomly grabbing a gun or something like that. Like
Just
Yeah,
him pressing the
exactly.
button. Like he's got time to press the fucking button as he's doing all
Yeah.
this shit. Just to
Or
say
another
no.
bit would have been like you get like another epic force moment where he rips the fucking suit into shrapnel and just fires it at the guards or
hmm
something. But so anyway, so the guards get chopped down and we get the final showdown between all three of them and Moff Gideon, and then the big ship kind of flies down, crashes into them, and we get the pathetic death of Moff Gideon, but a really cool scene with Grogu using his force powers
No,
to
he's
protect
using
Oh,
him.
his
I just want
Groot powers at that point.
I
His
want
Groot
no.
powers,
Yeah,
sorry,
because
yeah.
remember in Guardians 1 when like Groot like encased them in like the bubble and
Yeah.
protected them when they crash landed.
And they
I'm
ruined
like,
a great character, and then we never got that Groot back again.
Also that shield these Mandalorians have, that sort of laser shield, is pathetically small. It looks, I've
It's
got
yeah,
tiny,
fucking,
but all the lasers were
I
going
got
right
T
there.
plates. I got T
yeah.
plates that are fucking bigger than that
Yeah,
shit, man. You
Like
know
I
what I
can
yeah,
mean?
see if like it was some kind of like laser magnet where it's like, if you got it in a certain vicinity, instead of wherever it would go, like it would pull the laser like, to the energy. Like that seems like that would make sense for something small like that. But like, yeah, you're running around and you've got this like freaking like I can see if like you're using that for like hand-to-hand combat, like okay, you're
makes sense
blocking,
for that.
but it's
But
like you're using it to block a gun. Like Din Djarin shot 4 or 5 people in the foot in this episode. Like
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
purposely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
No,
yeah,
well, I think I would use video game mechanics. Like it's a big shield and it can take a hit, but eventually it can only take so many hits before the shield depletes and needs to be recharged before you can use it again.
yeah,
You just use that. Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, why is it any different to the fucking shields on the ship that take large damage and then go down? So, um,
hmm
yeah, it would have made more sense. But no, bit, and that was the end of the action. And then we cut
Oh,
to the water, whatever they're
oh,
called.
you're lagging a bit, Ginge.
Am I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your
Oh
internet's
shit!
going
You're
in
right
and out.
now.
Am
Yeah,
I
you're
right
right
now?
now.
You're all
Oh
right
right,
now,
Yeah.
but and your internet
yeah.
keeps popping up and down. I can see it.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's the Melon app doing that because on my end everything's showing like full bars.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's
Yeah,
the
your bars
connection
keep
to the
going all over the
Melon app.
place, but it might be
Yeah,
the Melon app.
it's a glitch. It's a glitch with the Melon app for sure. Because everything on my end is 5 stars. Anyway, so we get Fat Mandalorian's kid being bathed in the waters of Mandalore
Oh,
or
by the
whatever.
way, like you guys forgot to mention the destruction of the dark saber,
Yeah. Oh yes, that's
Oh
right.
yeah,
Yes, it's
and
such an
like he
irrelevant
crushed
fucking
her
bit.
fucking hand, crushed her hand holding the fucking dark saber. But
That's
I
right.
think it's a good thing that like the dark saber is a blessing in disguise almost. I mean, I hope they do rebuild it, but it's no longer this symbol of who's gonna rule Mandalore. You know, like he doesn't need to be there anymore. Bo-Katan's the ruler, and they don't need a fucking dark saber to
Yeah,
it's
continue
just a
the
really good
lineage.
weapon, though. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
for
good,
sure.
it's a good symbol to say that also, that for me symbolized the end of Moff Gideon as well, because obviously he was just as obsessed with having the dark saber, but it goes out of his way to destroy it, crushing Bo-Katan, and we get rid of an annoying plot device at the same time. So that was great. Thumbs up from me. I hope they don't rebuild it and they just like that sector of the Mandalorians is just like, oh fuck the dark saber. Let's just move on from that. It's just a stupid sword.
Stupid
Although,
transatlantic cable.
yeah, let's talk about my.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, anyway, so yes, we get Fat Mando's kid is being bathed in the waters, and just as he
Nobody's
busts
adopting
off,
him, is it? Are they?
yeah,
No, yeah. Fuck you. You're never an orphan, you little cunt.
yeah, you're just gonna stay an orphan, mate, because we're not leaving here.
I mean,
So then,
why doesn't a Bo-Katan just adopt him? You know, I mean, apparently that's all you have to do is I hereby adopt so and so as my kid. I mean, that's how adoption works, right? Like,
well, it's the Star Wars universe, mate. They don't have
Yeah,
bureaucracy like we
yeah,
do.
and they're,
The
and
New
among the
Republic does, but
Mandalorians,
it's
they're a
Mandalorians,
clan,
mate.
you know. They're a big
Yeah,
family, you know what I mean?
that's what happens. Mate, this is the kind of shit that happened in Greece and Cyprus, man. And all those kind of countries as well. It's just like, yeah, fuck it, it's my kid. My grandmother wasn't raised by her parents. She was raised by her auntie. Never officially adopted, but I was like, yeah, it's my kid. Anyway, so then Din Djarin comes in with Grogu, and Din asks for the kid to be bathed as he is now his apprentice. And they're like, well, okay, but he can't talk, so you can't bathe him. Where it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna fucking adopt him then. They're like, okay, well, now then you have to leave because he
Yeah, you
has to
gotta
go
take
on
him
adventures.
yeah, you have to go on adventures, which is okay.
which
Well, this
makes
is
no
like these.
sense because he doesn't have
No,
a helmet yet anyway.
no,
Like,
but
Yeah,
they don't want him to be on Mandalore. They want him to get off the fuck off Mandalore, so this is their excuse to do so.
yes,
You know
this
what I
is the
mean?
plot convenience of yeah, let's just get him the fuck off of Mandalore, and so we can finally go back to what the show was originally meant to be, which was
After
him
one
going
episode.
around being a fucking poncy ass bounty hunter. Because then, apart from the brief little shot of that old beastie thingy that I forgot its name, I don't really care. We then
Oh,
get
the Mythosaur.
Mythosaur, yes, and then the flames of the forge are lit, and everyone's cheering for
yeah, oh, they're
Mandalore.
clanking, clank, clank,
They
clank, clank,
clank,
clank,
clank,
clank, clank,
clank,
clank,
clank,
clank.
clank, clank for
I have to
Mandalore.
admit, I had a good feeling. I was so happy. I wanted to fucking cry.
No,
I
that's
really
only
did.
because you're the armor and you're just sweating so bad that
Yeah,
your tear ducts are.
this is the way, mate. Like you're so happy that Mandalore's back, and I'm hoping, you know, in future episodes or future shows or whatever, you know, that we see a more developed Mandalore, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I very much doubt we're going to see the fucking
No, but this is
Mandalorians for a
no, but
while.
this is so good that we like like all these plot threads and all this shit it's done now. Like we don't need to go back to it anymore. Like you know now as you said we can finally maybe make Din Djarin what we wanted him to be in the first place, which was a bounty hunter. because it
Well,
seems that we follow these bounty hunters and they never do what we want them to do. You fucking hunt bounties.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
No,
Anyway, all
I
right.
was
So,
gonna say something, but
oh,
but here's the thing: is that I feel like we finally hit episode 24. So are we finally at the end of season 1 at this point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like this whole 24 episode run, even though it says season 1, 2, and 3, has been just a part of one arc with with Moff Gideon. Even you could even call it the Moff Gideon arc because he's been around for all 3 seasons. So it's just act
And
1, 2, and
it
3.
has been
every season.
retconned though because to a degree, Grogu was never supposed to go back to the Mandalorian, but they had to retcon it by doing so in the Book of Boba Fett. Because
yes,
they
because
wanted,
Marketing.
they
Kathleen
realized,
Kennedy insisted on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So even though it was a great ending for season 2, and then we can finally focus on Mando. They really wanted Disney can't help themselves. They really need that Disney. They need that Disney element in everything they fucking do. And
Yeah.
Grogu's that Disney, that
And you
element.
can tell, yeah, you can tell that Favreau just was not happy with having to go back to Grogu because he was hardly used in a lot of the episodes. Like if you compare it to the first 2 series, in this one, he's hardly used. And when he comes into it, I thought he was really well used rather than being an annoying
Yeah.
little. Apart from the first episode where he was an annoying little cunt.
And I preferred it like this actually. Even though a lot of people had their complaints about season 3, I'm glad it wasn't all about him.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad the show wasn't all about Din Djarin either, because as I said before, like there's only so much you can do with these bland fuckers.
Well, and
They are, yeah. There's not much to them.
Well, and that's what I was. That's the point. Is that we don't want that's the problem. Is that the majority of of casual viewers of Star Wars are like, I want Grogu. Grogu make me feel good. And then it's just like, no,
yeah. Well, again, it's listening to fucking Twitter, but the wrong end of Twitter, and this is the fucking problem. Like we have with a lot of it, and I'm not talking about the usual shit. I'm just talking about even just in terms of like this, like Grogu. This is like Twitter fucking screaming for this little green cunt, and it's just like fuck off. We should have closed that book on episode 2, a chat on series 2, and just moved on. But Disney just didn't want that. They wanted him back. They insisted on having him back. But I think he was going to come back. But Disney wanted him back a lot quicker. They wanted him ready for Series 3. And that's why you had him pop up in Book of Boba Fett. Those are the revelations that are coming out. How true they are, I don't know. But,
And don't expect him to speak anytime soon. A lot of people are expecting him to speak. I think Disney realized the moment he speaks, there's a part of that magic of innocence and sweetness probably goes with him. So as long as
his first words are going to be like, "This is the fucking way."
Well, apparently he did say. Yeah, apparently he did say that. If you look at, I think heavy spoilers, they kind of made it. They kind of showed a little clip of him saying it in a very alien-y style way, but you can pick up the tones that says, "This is the way" from Grogu.
Yeah, but he's going to say it in the Yoda way, which is the way it sounds.
No, I think they said he's going to speak normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they said Yoda was the only one who spoke that way.
Yeah, so because Yaddle didn't.
Yeah, Yaddle didn't either. Okay. Technically, Yaddle's now canon with Tales of the Jedi. But also, he must have some kind of like alien dyslexia or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, stupid little cunt.
Yeah, right.
Senile old bastard. But yeah, so anyway, so then Din, obviously does the thing with the New Republic. He's gonna be a fucking bounty hunter again. Yay, great. Then he goes back to
take some IG-88 with him as well.
Yes, takes IG-88, and then he manages to rebuild him and turns him into the marshal of that other fucking planet.
And you know what, Ginger?
A little plot of land.
Navarro.
Yeah. But Ginger, this was a big fuck you to Gina Carano, a big fuck you to Cara Dune. We have our goddamn marshal. Fuck you, bitch. You're never coming back.
I don't know. I don't know if it was that. I think it was just whatever, man.
Let's just she was
on IG-88. Oh,
she was asked to be the marshal at one point. Remember?
Fucking toy out with him, huh?
She was asked to be the marshal in season 2. Remember?
Yeah, but she was
She was spoken
yes,
to. The same guy spoke to her. The one who wanted to buy Mando a drink.
yes, but somebody was going to be the marshal. I wouldn't call this a fuck you to Gina Carano. I would just say it's just part of the plot. You know, he didn't have a marshal, so he needed a new marshal. If it was a fuck you to Gina Carano, it would have been from the first episode where he got offered the job to be a marshal. What that planet needs is some fucking ships and better radar to detect ships coming into their bloody atmosphere.
I love how Grief Karga thought that like the man, like, I will offer you all this land for the Mandalorians, and he's probably thinking, yes, the Mandalorians will be here, so we will be protected. And the next episode, they fuck off to Mandalore.
Yeah, that's it. They're like, okay, and we're gone.
Yeah, it's like,
and it was just like, how pointless was that? Fucking
it was
bit?
very, very pointless.
Very pointless. Very pointless. So that's it, really. We just get Mando sitting in his little thing, and nobody gives a shit.
I wanted to make the thumbnail that image of him just kind of kicked back, and I wanted to like put like a Photoshop a straw hat on his head, and like put like a banjo on his lap. I'm like, what the are we watching here? Like,
Alabama-lorian.
Like, yeah, I know. Like, it's like, what is this? The end of Infinity War? Like,
Yeah,
Thanos
I
is
mean,
gonna like look out on his garden.
The wrap up aspect was just fucking so stupid. It's just like, you're sitting on this plot of land, and it's like, you just did a thing with the New Republic, so why aren't you just like there, like waiting for your first bounty or whatever? You go off to fucking Mandalore.
I'm sure they probably have a ton already waiting.
Yeah, it could literally say, okay, here's your first assignment.
Yeah.
And the question is, how's he going to get paid without the New Republic knowing?
Well, we still got that pirate, by the way, and I thought that would be resolved, but he hasn't.
No, he's going to show up in Skeleton Crew.
Season 4.
No, Skeleton
Crew.
Really? Yeah, they've already shown him in the trailer. The trailer footage that they showed at Star Wars Celebration. He was in the Star Wars or the Skeleton Crew images.
I wonder if he'll show up in Ahsoka as well. He'll be that annoying cunt who just seems to get away all the fucking time, and but eventually he'll get his maybe about 3 or 4 seasons down the line, or he might turn face, which I won't
get it in Skeleton Crew probably. It's like he's not
relevant. Well, the Skeleton Crew is going to be about pirates, is what they've said. Skeleton Crew is about pirates in the Outer Rim, and
isn't that the kid thingy with John?
Yeah, that's the kid thingy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, with Jude Law. Yeah.
Star Wars babies. I mean, it's basically Star Wars Prodigy, because Star Trek Prodigy did the exact same thing. Kids on a starship in unknown regions.
Well, look, they need to bring this show. When they bring this show back, they need to bring it back as quickly as possible. The 2-year gap did not help this show. Putting a couple of key episodes in the Book of Boba Fett didn't help this show. So
they're gonna start filming series 4 because like the viewing figures were actually quite good. So despite early reports that overall viewership was down, but it still did good numbers for Disney. So
it just wasn't as good as the first 2 seasons.
Yes. Yeah, and the general consensus has been that season 3 has been absolute shit. But it's still the most watched show on Disney Plus. So, but that's not hard when there's literally fuck all on that bloody platform. Paramount Plus has bloody more variety, and they're going ham with all the stuff that they're making. Disney have got their thumb on their ass trying to fucking figure out what to do with Phase 5 and Star Wars. So, yeah, let's give this episode a rating then. We'll just repeat ourselves about the whole fucking series. So, Cheetah, what would you give this episode?
All right, so I'm knocking several points off for several reasons. Obviously, they teased Thrawn, and I mean, even not even a post-credit like view of him coming back. The episode's literally called The Return, and I know it's probably for the Mandalorians returning to the planet, but I'm sorry. They foreshadowed Grand Admiral Thrawn coming back. We didn't get a single snippet. We talked about how Thrawn needed to be the one who ended Moff Gideon. It made sense passing the baton there, especially if Thrawn's going to be their Thanos type character. Like Moff Gideon is kind of like the Loki, and and so then Thrawn was the Thanos. So you had to have Moff get offed by Thrawn. or Gideon, not Moff. That's his rank. I just other stupid decisions in this. Like the Grogu stuff was kind of stupid. Like they should have just killed little bastard. Um, I mean, like him and his force powers and stuff. I mean, it just, I, I don't know. I mean, it was fine for a little bit, but like how he survived is like the drunken master level of survival at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's almost Three Stooges comedy if like there was actual death in Three Stooges. You know, like you
Yeah.
just kind of make your way. I'm gonna give it a 7. So I would have get like if I really really liked the action stuff. I thought it was great. I thought the a lot of the set pieces were great. Most of the fights were good, like the one-on-one battles and stuff like that. But it's so funny watching this little green shit like take out these like red predatory guards. You know, like he just throws them across the room. And I get it, it's the Force, but it's just like how like I could put like what like the what's the music? The you know, and like
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill, yeah, the Benny Hill music,
Yeah.
and like Grogu just throwing people around, and like put like sound effects, whoop, whew, wah. So yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 7. Unfortunately, as I said, I think they shit the bed on a lot of things, and there was more. I should have wrote it down. I know I should have, but anyway, go ahead, Zam.
No, that's all right. Zam.
I do agree that this season has been a bit up and down, but I did think that this finale was pretty cool, and it's generic regarding it being this massive action set piece and stuff like that. But I thought the set pieces were done well. It looked great. You know, there was also a sense of closure as well. I would like I would have liked an end credit scene with Thrawn. I would have liked it that way, not involved in the main story, but end credit scene. That would have been a better way of getting Thrawn
Oh, let me
involved.
see. Is there an end credit scene?
No, there isn't. I went through this whole fucking motherfucker.
No, he
But I
went
thought
through
there would
it
be.
All right.
inch by inch by inch.
All right. Cool.
That was the unfortunate thing, but overall, I had a good time with this episode. It gave me the feels. It had closure to it. Hopefully, now we can move on to other things regarding Mando and this universe. Good. The story with Bo-Katan also ended really nicely too. I'm very happy for her. And the Mandalorian culture as well and everything. I give this episode an 8. Not the series, of course, but the episode definitely. I give it an 8. I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it probably an 8, a low 8, if that makes sense. Like I said, like visually, this episode was absolutely gorgeous. Like at some point, you just forget you're watching a TV series. So on that regard, and I did love a lot of the action, even though some bits were silly. I did love a lot of the action. I love the visuals. I disagree with Cheeto in terms of Grogu. I love seeing him use his little force powers, flinging people around. It makes sense that he's just flinging these little fuckers around. I would have liked to have seen, a bit more gruesome. I thought that would have been much better, like crushing the fucking guards' heads. I thought that was a great idea. Moff Gideon's monologuing really pissed me off, though. This fucking this need to have like this constant exposition that has just been rife throughout Jon Favreau's writing has really just fucking puts this whole series like at low tier 90s level in terms of the writing, but that is just endemic of Star Wars in general. Even under George Lucas, let's not pretend that George Lucas is some kind of phenomenal writer. But yeah, I'll give this like the lighting of the forge and the return of the Mandalorians to Mandalore was fantastic. I just thought that this kind of action and this kind of level of intensity should have been throughout this series, like with returning to Mandalore and finding like secret pockets of the Empire nesting there. That could have played out throughout the whole series, and then we could have had the the payoff with Thrawn's return. But this is my biggest gripe with this episode is that there was no payoff with a lot of things. So the spies is, as you say, it's definitely just the committee of twats at the beginning of episode 7. So we didn't have any kind of traitors within the Mandalorians at all. We didn't get a throne. We got a pathetic death for Moff Gideon. The clone situation was quickly erased as well. So it's just like it would have been nice to kind of have a little hint that one of the clones has survived or something like that. But obviously, no. But we know the red herring that might come down the line. So yeah, and the ending parts of it were just, some of the other bits of going straight to the New Republic and striking a deal and all this, just to go like, haha, we're going right back to what we were trying to do in the first place. And it's just like, okay, great. So yeah, I'll give this 8 out of 10, and mostly on the visuals and the action. So
at the end, all they have to do is have they go back into like the destroyed clone room, and then they have like all the windows busted out like they were, and then all of a sudden a hand comes out and like a hand grabs onto like the hatch from the inside or whatever because the window was busted out.
Yeah, or a hand blows out one of the doors.
Oh yeah, with the Force. See, hire us, Disney. We know this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, series overall, for me it's the worst one they've had so far. There's just so many fucking problems with it. It didn't know where it wanted to go. Episode 6 was literally one of the worst fucking episodes we got, and that's saying a lot considering how shit most of the episodes have been. The one with Lizzo and Jack Black, it was just so fucking annoyingly pointless. You got the Mandalorians literally right there, but it's like, big detour just to get to them. It's like fucking.
I did like overall, episode 6 is a bottle episode though. Like, if I get what you're saying, I understand and I completely agree with your gripes. But actually, episode 6 is one of my favorites as an episode as a whole. Like, not to the story. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah, but that's because I don't mean there's an insult, but you're kind of happy to have those kind of little throw-in episodes here and there and all this because that's what TV Land does. But
that's what Milquetoast does.
Yeah, that's what Milquetoast does. But for me, when you've only got 8 episodes, they needed to be intense. They needed to show some kind of urgency, some kind of like great story progression. But instead, we just got everything that needed to progress was wrapped up too quickly within the pockets of the useless episodes. So with that, episode 6, prime example, Bo-Katan fights, rises to the top of the Mandalorians again, whips out Black Saber. It's like, well, let's move on. It's like we wrap that bit up, which should have been the whole focus, so let's just get out of the way. Anyway, I'm not going to keep banging on because it's getting late. So overall, I'm just giving series 3 probably 3 out of 10. Just really just frustrating as hell, and moving forward, I really don't give a shit about Mandalorian anymore. Like, if they cancel it, I don't care. They're not going to, but I just don't care about this series. And it just, yet again, we're at a situation where with Star Wars, it's just like Andor is the only thing I look forward to. From the rumblings with Acolyte, I'm just like, oh god, this one's going to be a fucking disaster because it stinks of Kennedy's interference again. So, yeah. Anyway, Cheeto.
The season as a whole, I give it a 5. I did like some of the bits a little bit better than you guys. But yeah, I didn't hate episode 6 as much as you guys did. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the episodes again, but for the most part, I like the fact that it was not Jedi centric at all. Like, besides Grogu being there, which is fine with me. So I did like those little bits. The pirate episode I thought was really good.
Episode 5.
Was that episode 5? I think it was, where they went back.
Yeah, that's the one where the pirates attack Navarro.
Yeah, Navarro. I don't know. I really felt that this 2-part finale really underwhelmed. And that's actually, I think, what I said last week, is I'm afraid it's going to underwhelm.
Yeah.
And as I said, all the action set pieces great, but like in way of, what they were foreshadowing coming for the season finale, like they totally under-delivered. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But that can be
payoff.
There
was no payoff in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, five out of 10. I'd have in order to give like a true blue accurate rating. I'd have to go back and watch them all, or at least skim through them. But I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm going to
Yeah,
give it a
that's
nice,
fine.
solid middle of the road.
All right, Zam.
Well, just to answer Vance's thing here, this
I
is
just
the
put that
way.
up. You must have
Yeah,
been
but this,
asleep. You must have been asleep when I put that up.
no, I saw it, but I think to myself, this is the way. All right. Episode one, a lot of people complained about it, but I just thought it was just to get us back into the swing of things. Had some good action set pieces. Episode two, Minds of Mandalore. I liked that episode. Saw the Mythosaur. Episode three was very different. But I really felt that more could have come out of this, especially with characters like Elia Kane. And really, from that episode, we got nothing really from her, other than episode five when we went with the pirates and stuff like that. Episode four was a side mission episode, but these are times where we just see the Mandalorians being Mandalorians as well. A lot of these things, these first five episodes, doesn't really bother me as much as it did bother everyone. But I could totally understand episode six, and that was the Daft Punk episode. I'm gonna actually be not so generous this time around because I do understand people's gripes and I get it, even though it didn't bother me as much as everyone else. I just was just happy to go on the ride, but I'm still gonna give this season a 6 out of 10, which is just a slightly above average. I would like to have given it a higher marking degree, but like I said, I was fine with this season. But nevertheless, I do understand the gripe, so a 6 out of 10 is what it gets from me.
All right. What's the poll saying, Cheeto?
I mean, the poll for this episode, I didn't do another poll for this season, but basically it's split between 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. I can do a poll really quick if you want for the season, but we're almost done.
For the season, you can just ask people in the comment. Oh yeah, just
All
put a
right,
quick poll.
comment in the comments.
In
1
the
through
comments.
10.
What
In
would
the
you give
comments.
season 3?
What is your rating of season 3 of The Mandalorian? Do 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 do. Do 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 do
Do
God,
do do do
my
do
fucking
do.
nose, man.
do. Daniel Vance with the 7.
With a 7, great setup for the future. Star Wars sets up Ahsoka perfectly. It does.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm surprised. Daniel Vance, I thought would be
Well,
less.
I think regarding the baton pass, I do feel there's a sense of closure here with the Mandalorian. So it's a good baton pass to Ahsoka because I did feel that she had a lot of shit to do in a couple of episodes we have seen her in Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. So yeah,
Oh, yes.
this is a good way to let her keep the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah,
The season was very.
I'm gonna reserve any kind of excitement for Ahsoka because with Filoni involved in this one, it's just gonna be fan service, and it's just live action Rebels. Hopefully with less annoying fucking characters in it, but it's live action Rebels. But the prospect of having Thrawn back is definitely the go-to reason to see this.
And Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, man, she's a great actress. Let's not discredit her. At least we get to see her face, unlike Pedro Pascal, which I'm actually in a way very happy that we didn't see his face not once this season, which is actually a bonus. We should give
we
it
did
marks
not
for
see
that.
his face at all this entire season. I noticed that.
Yeah, which means it was very easy for him. He just goes in and reads the script and goes off and does The Last of Us and all the other 50 million things that he was working on.
That involves a kid, so I mean,
yeah, that involves kids and Nicolas Cage. So it was very easy for
that
him.
meme is just everywhere right now.
Yeah, shame the film was crap though. I tried, but I was just fucking bored of it. Yeah, that's it really. Tomorrow, have you guys got anything Trek wise tomorrow?
The series finale of Star Trek Picard, the Enterprise. Yeah, the Enterprise D for Dictacular is back. So we are going to be.
They gave you the D.
They gave us the
heavy,
D.
Heavy D.
Heavy.
But he's dead, so they couldn't give you that.
Yeah. So yeah, Tenacious D. Yeah, I mean, we're
Tenacious
getting
D,
to.
yes.
Yeah, we get.
Also, I think we're going to be, I think maybe in a little bit here, we'll probably be recording a trailer reaction to the Strange New Worlds trailer that just came out today. It might be me and Zam, might be myself.
Ain't gonna
I'm
be
not sure
me.
just yet.
Yeah, because I can give a flying
Depends on
fuck.
how tired Zam is when we get done with this.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
get this
fair
fucking
enough.
shit done then.
Yeah, so there's that, and then obviously Friday we just have the the open forum thing, where we will talk about it's very again like there's not fucking much like in terms of gaming. The big news is obviously Nintendo and the pirates that they kind of sued. In terms of film and TV, Section 31 with Star Trek. You guys want to talk about that? Galaxy Quest coming back in the TV show. Mario and box office and a bunch of other crap that I forgot to put in there, but I will, including favorite. Now we can either do 90s cartoon themes or 80s TV themes. So whichever you guys want to pick, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the group chat, and we will go with that. I already put down my list because I'm a whore for top 10, so I always favorites. This is favorites, not top 10s, just favorites. And that is all. We'll leave you. Thank you everyone for joining us, and might see some of you might see Cheeto later. And on that note, let normality resume. Bye.